guys, how are you? Today I have a video on how to apply for your first admin position. Now, I had some of you guys reach out to me. You were telling me that when you were searching for the job, it kept coming up as medical secretary. And that's going to happen because this job is more of a hospital based job and it's an entry level position, meaning that anyone can work this job and it's very, very trainable. Now, before we get into it, the first thing I want you to think about is how far are you willing to drive for your first job? Is it a 5 minute drive? Is it a 30 minute drive? Is it an hour drive? And the other thing I want you to do is you got to figure out if you live in a rural area, you're probably not going to get to the closest hospital because big hospitals are always in the metropolitan area. That's where they have them. You're not going to see them in rural areas. They're always going to be in big cities, right? And then what you'll get in the rural area, you'll get probably like a clinic. You'll get maybe like a smaller hospital, but you're not going to get a big hospital. And that's okay. So what I want you to do now, I live in Massachusetts, so I'm going to type in right here on Google search. I'm not even using Indeed yet. On Google search, please list the 5 top hospitals in Boston. So now what I do is before I even apply to these jobs, I'm already thinking in my mind, how far do I want to drive? So I have to base it on where I live in Massachusetts and how far am I willing to drive to these hospitals. A lot of times, you know, we run into these things of we just want to get a job. And you'll see people apply for a job that's an hour away, knowing full well they hate the commute. They don't like the traffic. They're depressed and they want to drive hundreds of miles, but they end up doing it. And what happens is after 1 month they have this job, they're very happy, they're excited, they're eager to get to work, but then reality kicks in. We get our first snowstorm. It took them almost 3.5 hours to get to work. And then they have to go home. It took them other 3.5 hours to drive home. And then we have days that we don't want to drive. We're just tired. We're exhausted. Maybe we didn't get enough sleep. And now it's a problem. This is why before I even apply for a job, I think about all those things. Am I willing to drive in the storm? If I'm sick, could I drive myself home? I put these things all in my mind before I apply to job because this is going to keep me out of trouble and it's going to make me stress free because a job is going to be stressful. I don't need to add any more stress than what I'm already going to have, right? So every job you're always going to have some type of stress. You're not going to have, even if you have your own job, you're still going to have to deal with some type of stress. You have to learn how to work around it and how to manage it. So once you're done doing that, I want you to go on your desktop and I want you to take a blank page from Microsoft and then I want you to basically, you're going to go on Google search, you're going to type in 5 hospitals that are in Boston. Now, I live in Massachusetts, so I'm typing the 5 hospitals and it's going to list each hospital for me. And what I'm going to do is we're going to pick Mass General. Mass General is one of the top hospitals in Massachusetts. We have people that come from all over the world to get treatment here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the Mass General website, I'm going to go on careers, and it's going to ask me to create a profile. So I'm going to create a username. Now the second part of the video, I'm going to show you guys how to keep track of your username, when you apply for the job, where you are in the process of the job. Because what's going to happen is you're going to want to remember what you apply for. And I don't want you guys to apply for 6 jobs in your first try. Understand there's only one HR for that whole hospital. When you're applying for 6, 7 jobs in the same day, you seem a little bit eager to get out of the position, or maybe that's a red flag for them. You might not get any calls back because you're applying too much. Apply every 2 weeks. That shows you're searching. You haven't heard anything back. You're going to apply for another job. Now, keep in mind, hospital jobs are a slow process. You might have applied for a job. Now it's November. You don't hear back till February. And they want you to come in for an interview. Keep that in mind. That's how it is. Sometimes when you don't have any experience, it takes a little bit longer for you to get in the door. You're just trying to open that door, right? To get your first job. So you're going to apply for whatever position you see fit. Now, keep this in mind. There are different departments. There's neurology, radiology, palliative care, oncology, pulmonology. There's nephrology. These are all different departments. Now, don't worry about the anatomy because they're going to train you that. Every department is going to give you their own anatomy words, their own medications. They're going to tell you protocols. All you need to do is apply for the job, right? Once you apply for the job, everything else will fall into place. Okay. So that's what I want you guys to do, how to search for your first hospital job. I want you to go on Google search, type in the 5 closest cities and wherever you live. Now, if you live in a rural area, maybe drive to the closest metropolitan area. It's not going to be in your favor. That's okay. Don't worry. There's also clinics that you can apply for. So you could do 5 top clinics in your town. And those jobs, what you'll do, and we'll pick one here. You just go into the careers and then you just look for admin assistant position, and then you just apply for it. And it'll basically tell you what you're gonna do, what the description is. Now, here's the other thing. A lot of times, and this is gonna happen, you might not get a job at all, right? You might not hear anything back. It's been like 6 months. And there's multiple reasons why that could have happened that you did not get the job. Maybe you're not filling the application correctly. Maybe you're filling too many applications. That's why I said apply for a job every 2 weeks. And understand this too, a lot of these hospital jobs have self quizzes. So basically, what that is, they ask you self assessment questions like what you do in this scenario. Answer them truthfully, do not rush to them, because sometimes if you answer those incorrectly, they don't even continue on with the application. Your application just got pulled out. Okay. And the other thing too is, don't lie on your application. Don't put your friend down as your manager. That this is what I talked about this other my other videos. Having a special rapport with your manager is very important. A lot of times we go to jobs, everybody hates the manager. Everybody talks bad about the manager. That manager is your key to your next destination, because that manager is going to give you a good reference. Now, and I will talk about this. There are some managers that are not good managers. That's just reality, just in life. You're gonna meet good people, you're gonna meet people who are bad people, right? Now, what do you do in that situation? That's okay. There's always a boss and there's always a supervisor. So if you don't get along with the manager, you might get along with the supervisor. Now, if both of them are horrible, you're out of luck. No playing. That's not true. Use your other manager that you have before. That's just simple. That's just what it is, right? Or then that in that case, you might be able to use a colleague, but be honest with them, because I think what happened too is when people don't get hospital jobs, a lot of times that this started happening to me too. Um, they're gonna call your references before they call you for a job interview. I don't know, but that's how they do it, right? So keep that in mind. Do not get discouraged. Understand hospital jobs are very slow and they do reflect what's going on in the economy. So, for example, if the economy is down, people are getting laid off, people are losing their jobs, stuff like that. Hospitals usually have a hiring freeze. Even if there's a hiring freeze, still apply for it, because when that freeze is over, let's say if there's a hiring freeze from now till January, come January, they're going to start calling people. That's why get your application in now. Don't worry about what's going on. People, who cares? Don't listen to your girlfriend say, "Oh, girl, I used to work at the hospital. I worked there for 10 years. They just let me go." She had 10 years working at a hospital. You haven't had any. So, unfortunately, whoever that person was, their term has ended, but your destiny is not their destiny. Still apply for it. Don't listen to people. And understand this, when you're applying for these jobs, there's going to be a lot of people telling, "Oh, don't waste your time. You're not going to make anything." That's okay. You're looking for experience, because this job, it leads to a multiple careers. I've been doing this since 2010. I've come across so many wonderful people. I came across people who are doctors now, people who are nurses, science research, and guess what? They all started answering the phones. And you know how I know this? I still keep in contact with them because I used to work with them. I worked with this one woman, I'll never forget. She was a really good person. She worked just as a lab tech, and her job was to write reports, and she was to get the data that the doctor would get on the labs. Now she's a doctor, right? So that she just started doing that, and then she went back to school. She got, she was already in school, but she just continued on. There, people became nurses, people who work in executive. You never know where this job's gonna lead you. Unfortunately for me, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do until I retire. I always wanted to be a nurse. I don't know if it's something I'll do in the future, but we'll see. But for now, I know this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, and I like what I do, because I like creating YouTube videos. I love working for the doctor that I work for, and you guys know I sell Barbies. Come on, you can't be upset if you're a Barbie seller, right? And the other thing too, guys, I want you to have this too before I end the video. Have faith in yourself. I'm a woman of faith. I always feel like if God wants you to have something, nobody could take that away from you. The only person that can take away from you is yourself. We talk ourselves out of really good jobs. We talk ourselves out of really good opportunity because the thing is, you're surrounded by family, but your mind, 24 hours a day. That's why fill your mind with good books, fill your mind with good stuff. Stay around people who are negative, be around people who are positive, going to uplift you, who's going to make you want to strive higher. I hope my videos help you guys. I hope they motivate you guys to go out there, apply for a job. Please ask me any questions. And I will be doing another video to talk about the whole search part, how to keep track of what you're searching for. And then the state steps I use for Boston, you could also use it for Dallas. The five hospital, list five hospitals within Dallas. The thing is, when you search for hospital jobs, you have to do them around your region, like where you live. So, for example, if you live in New York is a huge state, right? But you might live in Manhattan, maybe you live in Long Island, maybe you live Upper Manhattan. You have to do the search around there. Five hospitals close to Long Island, five hospitals close to Dallas, five hospitals close to our other city. The other city that's in Dallas. Let's see, what is it? I forgot the name of it. I don't remember. I'm not really from Dallas. Please forgive me. But whatever state you're in, whatever city or town, you have to do the search to the closest hospital of that town, right? And then that, so basically, for example, I'll give you guys a city in Boston. So let's say if I live in North Boston, right? Five hospitals close to North Boston. So if I lived in New York, but I live in Long Island, and I'll put the search here, five hospitals close to Long Island. Now, if now we also it's 2024, right? So a lot of jobs are going to be remote. So is this position a remote position? It is. There are some hospitals, but they're out of state that are taking a remote admin position. But you have to be careful because there's a lot of scams out there. There are a lot of fake companies, that has a whole website, whatever, it looks legit. This is why I strongly suggest for you to always apply on a hospital based website. That way you know it's secure, right? I don't really apply to other jobs to have, because I don't know if it's legit. Clinic jobs, yeah, clinic jobs will have, professional websites, whatever, apply for those jobs. Always use your judgment, okay? Another thing too is there are ways for you to do more research, right? So if there's a job that you see on maybe a career builder or Indeed, look that job up and just call the company and say, hey, I saw an ad online that are you guys hiring for this position? And they'll tell you. 9 times out of 10, those jobs on Indeed are legit jobs. That's why I like to apply on Indeed. When you go on Google search, it's kind of like you're in the ocean with no raffle, right? So anybody could just throw anything on there. It's going to give you whatever you're searching for. But listen to hospitals, that is legit. That will give you official hospital jobs. I hope this video helped you guys. I hope to see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye bye, guys.